this is what we will work with today. For our open centering, I invite you to take either a seat or a supine position on your back, or if you had the opportunity to create like this little incline that I showed you earlier, that will be really nice to have. And then if you have a blanket, make a roll out of your blanket like this. And then bring your sacrum to the bottom of your little incline that you created. Bring the soles of your feet together. And then take the blanket roll that you made, drape it across the top of your feet, and wrap it underneath your legs. If you don't have a blanket like this to bring under your legs to support the legs so that they're not overstretching, you could also take a couple of blocks and bring them under the legs like this. Just something to support your thighs so they can fall open, but you're not overstretching the inner thigh muscles, your adductors. And then from here, you would lie back on your support. And if that hyperextends your neck, you might need a little pillow or a blanket or a little towel under your head so that your forehead is higher than your chin. It's just a really slight tuck in the throat rather than, this kind of thing. I will get up from this position to talk you through the open centering, but I invite you to be here or in some position like this that's comfortable. If the open legs don't work for you, you could have your legs stretched long here, or you could have your feet mat width apart and let the knees meet and fall into each other. Just creating a little bit of a slope here in your torso allows the breath to flow more freely into the abdomen. And so I invite you to find your spot, your comfort in a supine position of some sort. And then if it feels appropriate for you, I invite you to close your eyes. You might also choose to keep them at half mast, sort of a downcast gaze. That's nice and soft. And then I invite you to draw your attention into the body. And to invite your body to become heavy, to ground into the earth, to really find that connection to the ground. Maybe even to have a sense of growing roots into the earth, and through those roots connecting yourself to this virtual community that we've created together this evening. And check in with your body for a moment here. To see if there's a place in your body that needs a little bit more care, a little bit more peacefulness, a little bit more non-violence, so maybe a better support under the legs or the head or the arms, so that you feel as though you're really compassionately inviting the body to settle into this moment. Being honest with your appraisal of what might be most auspicious for you as you're lying back. And then keeping your body in loving awareness, draw your attention to the breath. And perhaps begin to notice how the breath connects with your body. Maybe noticing the connection in the rising and falling of the belly as breath travels in and out. Maybe noticing the connection between breath and body as your diaphragm moves downward to create a sense of space in the lungs that allows the air to travel in. And then as the diaphragm relaxes back toward the lungs to support the outflow of breath. Maybe you feel the connection between breath and body as the coolness of air traveling in through the throat and the warmth of air as it travels out. Or maybe for you, the most vivid connection of body and breath is the sharing of energy. It's the breath that enlivens the body. It's the breath that enervates the body, that makes it come alive with vibration, sensation. And so pay attention to this connection. And then hold breath and body in your awareness as you draw your attention to your mind. Noticing how the mind is joining this connection of breath and body, maybe through observing with curiosity how breath and body coordinate. Or maybe with a little chatter about not understanding this concept, or maybe with a story about how this has or hasn't worked for you in the past. The mind will make its own contribution to this connection, and so just notice how the mind is chiming into this conversation between the body, the breath, and the mind. And if the mind is telling a story of criticism or judgment, can you invite the mind to become kind, to become compassionate, to join the connection, to join the conversation with honesty, with generosity. Just explore what's possible and stay open to any possibility about how the connection between body, breath, and mind might unfold. And then as you continue to lie here, watching breath, body, and mind, you might want to invite a gentle sound as you breathe by slightly toning the back of the throat to create a sound like the sound of the ocean, or the sound when you fog a mirror and yet without opening the mouth. It's creating a breath that's slightly audible to you. If there were other people in the room with you, they wouldn't necessarily hear this sound. This sound will happen more within your own physical experience. And then notice if creating that sound invites the mind to be a bit more captivated by the breath, a bit more present. Maybe notice how creating that tone in the back of the throat and creating the sound in the breath vibrates through the body. Does it change how breath and body connect? It might be a more tangible sense of vibration, in the body linked to the movement of the breath. Making this slight sound in your breath can be a nice way of calling the mind to attention. And so I invite you to experiment with this, not just right now, but also throughout the rest of our practice, whenever you feel like you're losing your focus. You might come back to creating this ocean-like sound in your breath. This gentle vibration that creates a connection across all of your layers. With or without sound, take maybe 2 to 4 more cycles of breath. And then before you move anywhere, in your mind, plot out a journey for rising to a seat. And so if you're placed on your bolster, you might roll to your right, still on the bolster, or you might choose to roll off the bolster. Plan how you will do this to keep yourself protected and safe and supported. And whenever you feel ready, begin that journey first to your right side and then ultimately to a seat where we will all meet.